Hi, and welcome everybody to our informational webinar on our new program, the CFAR Scholars Program, which is formally titled Accelerating Research Careers in Science Through Early Mentored Research Experiences at the UCSF, CFAR, and SFSU. My name is John Salceda, and I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Karina Marquez, and we're going to be going through an overview of the program and sort of the application process and some tips for writing a good application. So our objectives for this is to really fulfill this need to mentor the next generation of HIV researchers, which is a top priority for us at the Center for AIDS Research. And we have a strong commitment to mentoring trainees who are underrepresented in science or historically excluded. And so there is a gap in the field with regards to training undergraduates and master's level students who have had little access to UCSF, as you know, UCSF is a health science center medical school that does not have an undergraduate degree program and few master's level programs. And so we really want to open our doors and partner with San Francisco State University students. And so this program, we will deliver a tailored mentored research experience to 3 undergraduates and 3 master's level students from SFSU through our CFAR mentoring and research infrastructure. So that's the goal of this program. So here's our team. Really fabulous group of people really committed to mentoring the next generation of scientists. So as I mentioned, my partner here, Karina, Jonathan Fuchs, Peter Hunt, Lauren Sterling, Monica Gandhi, and then our SFSU partners, Jesus Ramirez Valles, Audrey Paragon-Smith, and Yasmin Carrasco. And so who is eligible for this program? Really, anybody that is considered underrepresented in science and medicine or excluded, historically excluded groups. Most of the degree programs that you are studying at San Francisco State University are eligible for this program. And partly because our CFAR conducts a wide range of HIV research that range from bench science to community engaged research. And my partner here, Karina, will go over our CFAR structure. And so if you are interested in pursuing a career or additional training in research, this program is for you. So whether it's graduate school, medical school, working in industry, maybe you want to work in public health or a governmental position, maybe you want to work in research as part of a community organization, any of those potential career paths, we feel this internship program would help in that way with that trajectory. And so here I'm going to pass it over to my partner, Karina, who's going to go over the CFAR structure.
Thanks so much. So I wanted to just take a moment and talk a little bit about what is the CFAR. So CFAR stands for Center for AIDS Research, and this is our CFAR at UCSF. It is one of many CFARs across the nation. And the CFAR's main goal is to facilitate scientific progress in HIV and facilitate collaborations between the HIV researchers at UCSF. And I think it's important to note that there are our researchers come from many different areas of science, from basic science to translational science to global health and clinical research, and from many different schools, School of Medicine, nursing, pharmacy. And so this picture just shows what is a picture of the different aspects of the CFAR. And so it's composed of 3 main cores. And so the first one on green is the clinical core. And we have a lot of patient cohorts where we are looking at clinical outcomes and prevention interventions. We also have the biobehavioral core, and within that, there's also the HIV prevention prep cohort, a lot of great research on substance use and the intersections between HIV prevention and keeping people engaged in care, and looking at other prevention interventions like biomarkers or behavior. And then the green core is the basic and translational science core, where we have a lot of amazing people who are researching how do we cure HIV and how do we understand HIV pathogenesis, people looking into the immunology of HIV. So those 3 cores make up the CFAR, and then there's a lot of intersecting themes such as health equity and community engagement, a huge focus on international research, as well as on ongoing mentorship. And then we have two amazing new scientific working groups, housing working group and the impact on HIV outcomes and prevention, and then also the intersectionality working group. So all the scholars have an opportunity to really find the best a match with mentors from the various aspects of the core. Next slide. So let me tell you a little bit about our the activities of this program. So the program's a 16-week mentored research internship. Scholars will do about 15 hours a week. It is paid at $20 an hour. As John mentioned, we will have 6 scholars, 3 undergrads, and 3 master's level students who will join the very first cohort in 2022. And in addition to working with your mentor on research, we'll have weekly group meetings with John and I and other mentors, and you'll also meet weekly with the research team. And then in addition to the working on your mentored project, you'll have many opportunities to engage in unique HIV, clinical, basic, and social and behavioral science events, which include shadowing and other neighborhood outreach efforts. Next slide. This is just another outline of more specifics about the activities. So right now we're in the recruitment phase, so very excited that you're coming to this webinar, and please reach out with other questions that we haven't answered, the emails on the website. And then we're working on recruitment, and then we'll do the application review, and we'll give you more details at the end of the webinar about the applications. In this interview process and the application process, we're going to really work on developing an individualized mentorship plan if you're selected and choose to come to the program. Then in terms of other specific activities, we'll run through, I think, this part, the part in purple, piece by piece, but there's just kind of big picture. There's a core curriculum. There's the mentored research experience. There's peer mentoring, which are the bi-weekly and check-ins with CFAR members and mentors, and then there's shadowing and a symposium and graduation. The other, I think, really exciting piece of this program is that we really also would love and are aiming to pair you with a CFAR mentor who is underrepresented in science and medicine as well. So that is, I think, another really fun and exciting piece of this program. And then all our mentors will be are also participating in mentoring programs, mentoring the mentors programs as well. So next slide. This, John, I'm going to pass this one back to you to tell a little bit more about the asynchronous curriculum.
Sure. So 16 weeks can fly by really fast. And so what we've done is we're going to take our previous and very recent the video webinars that we have that cover a wide variety of topics that we think are fundamental to pursuing a career in HIV research. So, for example, we have webinars on, important responsible conduct of research, how to ask research questions, and then a variety. I mean, we have a host of topics on HIV prevention, treatment, cure, disparities, the role of structural determinants, racism, HIV, and COVID-19. And so as scholars go through this program, they will have access to these webinars by leading researchers who are each an expert in this, in these separate areas of HIV science. And I'll pass it back to Karina.
Great. So another piece of the program that I'm really excited about is, in addition to your mentored project, we also want to give the opportunity to learn a little bit about different other areas of HIV research, clinical research. And so we're building in tailored activities to your interests. So there can be a clinical component. So we'd love to have students join us in our HIV clinic at San Francisco General Hospital and spend time in the clinic. There's other opportunities also to shadow and do rotations through basic science labs if that is of interest. And then thirdly, there's the opportunity to really to join community health teams on the ground, whether they're at a community testing site. This is just a picture of Unidos en Salud, which I run in collaboration with many others, including the Latino Task Force. Where we do multi-disease testing, HIV, diabetes, COVID, and spend time at community sites like this or others. Okay, so what about the application steps? So please do visit the website here for more details. Take a look at the eligibility criteria, which we've listed in detail. The application consists of essays, a transcript, copies are fine, and a letter of recommendation. And your letter writer must be a faculty member at San Francisco State who knows familiar with your academic program and really can speak to your strengths as a candidate. Next slide. Let me pass it back to you, John.
Yeah, thanks, Karina. So the crux of the application are going to be 2 essays. The first essay is longer than the second essay by a couple hundred words. And so for the first essay, it's really important to answer all the questions that we have here. And you can find them again, as Karina said, on the website. To describe your academic and career goals and how getting training is going to help with achieving those goals. Really interested in understanding what is inspiring you to pursue these goals. Again, how you think the program will help you reach your goals in science and medicine. And what's really important are the unique, your unique lived experiences, any challenging factors that you've overcome that have influenced you in your academic trajectory. I think for us, it's really important to understand who you are as a person, what drives you, and how you can benefit from this program. So we get a good sense of who you are and what we can do to help you achieve your goals. So tips for a good essay, try to have this proofread by others outside of you, ideally maybe some faculty members or friends, just to make sure your writing is clear and that the essay is really strong. So for essay 2, it's a little bit shorter, but what we would like to do is, again, a big part of the success is trying to pair you with a mentor who fits your interest and needs. And so for essay 2, we want you to pick one of these key terms and explain how it relates to your goals to pursue science, medicine, or if possible, more specifically, HIV research. Again, we know that not everybody has had HIV research experience, but if you want to talk more broadly about your interest in science and medicine, that's also fine. So pick one of these. For example, you could pick the basic sciences, you could pick health disparities, and use the word limit to expand upon why that is of interest of you and why you want to pursue studying this. So tips for good essays is, again, really try to make sure that your rationalization for why you picked the key term that you did is clear, and tying it back to your goals, I think, are really important to help us, again, understand exactly what you're interested in pursuing. And if you're not exactly clear on what you want to do, that's okay too. But I think giving us a sneak peek into your thought process about what you might be interested is also sufficient. And so I'll pass it back to Karina.
Great. So this is the timeline. Applications are due March 1st. And then from March 1st to April 30th, we'll be reviewing applications and scheduling interviews. And then for those who are selected and are interested, we'll do the hiring and onboarding process. The internship starts May 1st and goes through August 30th. And again, it's 16-week mentored research project. And at the end, you'll present your final research project. And then in September, we'll evaluate the program. We always want to make it better and do the exit processes. So that's the timeline, and it's all on the website. And of course, email us with questions.
And so one of the things we wanted to do here is for Karina and I to answer some of the key questions that we often get with internship programs. And so I'll take the first one as far as what we are looking for in a good application. So some tips for you is, again, make sure all of your materials are in on time. Make sure you've read the directions carefully. Try to have all your materials proofread. And make sure you get the contact information for your letter writer in the application portal. So you go to the website, there's a link there that has everything, including the link to where you're going to upload all of your information. And in there includes a specific box for your email of your letter writer, who we will then reach out to send the link to get the form for how they're going to write their letter for you. So read the directions and try to be crystal clear in your objectives and your interests. And I think that will make for a really good application. And so the second question, which I will pose to my partner here, Karina, is to think about, what for us, what would make a good experience for an intern?
It's a great question. And I think, going into the internship, we really, I think want people to come in ready to learn, ready to work with others, ready to explore and learn new things, bring your creativity and passion for health and social justice and science to the internship. I think really makes it a great experience. And then from the mentorship side and our side, we want to really make sure that this will be a place of growth, that we will provide you with outstanding mentorship, individualized mentorship, and make this an exciting research opportunity.
Yeah, thanks, Karina. And so on that front, as we've kind of hinted at, how much research experience do I need to have? We do not want to make this be a barrier to applying. And so if you have, really good research experience, that's great. We will try to capitalize and leverage the skills and the knowledge that you come in with. But if you don't necessarily have that research experience, that's okay too. What we will do is really work, as Karina mentioned, to create an individualized mentorship program and plan for you that will, get you up to speed with sort of foundational skills that you'll need for additional training. So really, if you have questions about, is this the right program for you, please email us with any questions you have. We really do want all applicants to feel like they would benefit from this program. So which ties into, I guess I answered question 4 here about if I'm not sure what I want to do with career, can I still apply? And the short answer to that is yes. I think being open and transparent that you are considering many options and that you're still curious is a great place to be at this point. And so we want to work with you to make sure that we give you some options to consider, this is why the shadowing events are so important too. So you can see sort of health and medicine in action. And so on those work requirements, the really only ones are you have to be able to legally work in the United States. And then the eligibility criteria is on the website. And so I'll pass it to Karina to talk about how we're thinking about your own projects at SFSU and the internship.
Yeah, so can I work on projects related to my research at SFSU? And I think we want to make sure that there's the opportunity to make as many synergies as possible. So if you have an ongoing project or a focus, especially if you're a master's level student and want to see how you could integrate either the project UCSF or both, please let us know and we can specifically try to address that. John, did you want to add anything to that as well?
No, I think, it depends on where you're at, how far along you are with your thesis, if you're writing a senior thesis or working on your master's thesis. But if there are ways to leverage what you've worked on, that's great. If it's something that is going to be complementary, we will work to ensure that we try to do that seamlessly.
Mhm.
And so with that, I would just say, visit our website to learn more and ask us questions, email us with all the questions you have. And we look forward to reading your applications in the future. And so with that, I'll sign off. I'll thank my partner, Karina, and we look forward to reading your applications. Thank you.